Okay, I got Dave Higgo Higgins, radio presenter, MC, public speaker, writer extraordinaire from Melbourne, on the line. Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, real good. Now, much like me, you've just finished off a 2-week trip in Melbourne and Sydney for the Soundwave Festival, and we just recapped the festival in the last segment, and you have uploaded a bunch of interviews from the festival to your YouTube page. So how did you find the tour this year?
Yeah, really good. I was a bit worried about what the 2-day format would be like, but I think it was good because you had less clashes and you had more stage time for bands that wouldn't ordinarily get an hour set. Like bands like Tonight Alive played for an hour, so that was fantastic, and I think it was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed myself, as I always do at Soundwave.
Yeah, sweet. Did you have any highlights from the festival? Any surprise acts that you found?
No, I don't know about surprises, but the most anticipated for me was to see Killer Be Killed.
Yep.
An unbelievable supergroup. I'm sure you've told your listeners all about them, but I wanted them to be as good as I had hoped. You know, you hear the album and you just think, geez, I hope they can replicate it live, and they did it in spades, and it was just a really special moment to see the first show they've ever done in Melbourne, and that was definitely a highlight. And I think seeing Judas Priest again is, fantastic. So plenty of highlights. I could sit here all day going through all of them, but sure. Getting to chat to the guys from Exodus and catching up with guys like Slash and Corey Taylor, and it's just such an awesome event, and they do a great job of it every year.
Yeah, it's always a great week. There were a bunch of awesome local acts on the festival, and you've got your ear to the ground quite well. Are there any bands in the local Melbourne scene that we should definitely be keeping an eye on?
Well, yeah, Desecrator, who are coming up, of course, at Higgo's Heavy Cherry on Sunday night. We'll get to that shortly, but they're doing great things and heading over for their first European tour. And Decimatus are another great Melbourne band that you should definitely check out. The new album is just brilliant. Put me on the spot here. Heaven the Axe are always a great band to go and check out live. Phoebe up the front is phenomenal. You can't go past the stalwarts like Dreadnought. As for other new bands, let me think. Overproof Groove are from down on the peninsula, and they are very, very cool. If you get a chance to check them out and listen to their stuff, it's really groovy stuff. So
I have to.
Yeah, definitely check out Overproof Groove. Massive are another great, hard rock and roll band who just came back not too long ago from doing a run through Europe. So Massive are playing a fair bit, and they've got a new album on the way, which is going to be very cool to hear. So yeah, there's a ton of bands, man. There's just so many, and the scene needs to be celebrated, and people need to be made aware of it a bit more, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You just wrote an article recently called "Why You Should Give Heavy Metal a Second Chance" on news.com.au, which kind of backs that up a little bit. So what was the story behind the article?
I was just asked to write something. A friend of mine works at news.com.au, and he said, with Soundwave coming up, it would be great to get your perspective on why people think that metal is misunderstood, and because you know what it's like, people just think it's noise, and I can understand that from some points of view. It's just absolute noise, but once you boil it down and you start listening to the actual musicianship, it's again, it just goes back to wanting to put the spotlight on what great talent we have here in Australia, and it's not just noise. These guys put their heart and soul into everything they do, and it's just a different path that they choose. Rather than becoming pop stars, they become hard and heavy stars, and it's a shame in Australia it doesn't get the same sort of coverage as what the pop stars do.
Yeah, so it's always good to get your perspective on that. So can we expect more writing from you in the future?
Yeah, I hope so. Certainly hope so. I kind of bugged the guys at Metal Hammer magazine while I was at Soundwave, and hopefully that'll turn into something. But in the short term, I've got my podcast going, Distortion Podcast, which is on iTunes now. I'm just building episode 2 now. And, I hope there's going to be more writing to come. I don't know if it's going to be with news.com, but of course I write for Heavy magazine as well, which is a quarterly magazine. Brilliant magazine that's put together with a team of absolute guns from right here in Melbourne. So I'll always be writing for them, and wherever else I can pop up.
Yeah, awesome. As you mentioned, you launched your podcast the other week, and you're just pretty much about to release episode 2 tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, so do you feel that's retrospective of the change in the media landscape?
It is, but you can be bombarded, and there's a million and one websites, and there's a whole bunch of podcasts. But hopefully, after this second episode of Distortion, I'll go back to its original plan, which is to showcase and support the local talent as much as I can by interviewing the local bands from all over the country. And occasionally there'll be the odd international act that'll I'll get on the phone and have a chat to. But I'm all about supporting the locals and hopefully getting the word around.
Yep, you touched on this just before, and again, you're supporting the locals here with Higgo's Heavy Cherry #2 this Sunday at the Cherry Bar, which is also Desecrator's Europe fundraiser for their upcoming European tour. You've got Decimatus, Party Vibez, Harlott. What are you most excited about the show?
I'm just excited to get as many people through the door who can witness some great local talent. Party Vibez are fantastic, and I mentioned Decimatus before. Harlott are a great thrash band as well, so if you're into thrash music, you are going to love this night at Cherry. Tickets are still available on the door, but it is almost sold out, which is really cool. And the main reason for doing this was, again, just to help raise money for Desecrator to get on that European tour with Hyrax. So, and you can even win a fridge that I had signed at Soundwave by some of the stars there.
Yeah, I did see that fridge. It came out really wicked. Where did you get the idea for the fridge? That's such a cool idea.
Last year, I had a huge poster that went around with me for my old radio show, Distortion, and had that signed. And I thought, well, I'd like to get something. We thought about drum skins, we thought about guitars, and then I thought, you know what? I reckon a fridge would be cool because it's a fully functioning fridge, and whoever wins it, every time they go to use it, they'll be reminded of, Soundwave and how cool it is. You've got a story piece right there, what a conversation starter.
Exactly.
You sit in your man cave or wherever you want to put it, but you've got this great bar fridge there ready to roll.
Yeah, awesome. So what else do you have planned for the future?
At the moment, it's a bit of an open book. I'm just going through ideas and fielding offers, and there's nothing to reveal just yet, but plenty of things in the works, and hopefully 2015 is going to be absolutely massive, and I'll be very, very busy.
Awesome, it's an exciting time. So you can check out all things Higgo on www.facebook.com/Dave Higgo Higgins. Distortion is up on iTunes, and you can subscribe on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user HigDoggyDog. And of course, head on down to Heavy Cherry #2 this Sunday at the Cherry Bar. It's an awesome lineup. So thanks for the chat today.
Hey, no worries, man. Thanks for the support.